I mean, when you said that Mariah Carey was thawing, I thought you meant like she was like gonna get wet, because like if something thaws and it's wet.
Yeah, her pussy pops are thawing.
So, how's the weather?
It's pretty
Not
windy,
great.
really.
I mean, it's better than it could be.
You know what upsets me about this joke the most every time I say "so how's the weather" is that none of you know what I'm referencing, and it shows.
I
That's
definitely don't.
just like that's like public domain, like small talk right there. That's like what everybody says.
In the not Encanto, that's a movie. In the cadence that I'm saying it is very specific and is a reference. So
how's the weather? Yeah. Oh, I need to do this and just aim my
probably
camera
some show or
down
movie I've never
further.
watched.
Yeah.
I love how I say I love movies and shows, and I
hold
don't
on.
watch them.
I just want to say, everyone, Cole thinks that I just made a reference to a show or a movie. Who wants to be the first to tell him that he's fucking dumb for thinking that?
Yeah, you're right. I should have known better.
It's obviously a streamer. Like, I don't know. Like, what do you
That's true.
Yeah, I should have thought about that.
Yeah, this guy doesn't watch TV, bro.
I don't.
Or movies.
It's a reference to Sykkuno.
I don't either.
It's a reference to Sykkuno.
I mean, what's on now?
That's the reference, by the way, for everyone wondering. It's a Sykkuno reference.
Cool.
So
if it's not
really
a reference
like
to Green
redundant thing.
Sweegie, I don't want it, dude. So
Wait, Green Sweegie, hold on. I'm pulling it back.
don't do that. So. Oh my god, dude!
My brother
I did it!
does this. My brother does this thing where like
He got nominated for
he will
Speedrunner of the Year.
No, he did not. Unfortunately.
No, Green Sweegie did. He got nominated for Speedrunner of the Year.
Well, I'm not talking about him.
Oh, who are you talking about?
The Rum.gg.
My brother.
Your brother.
Wow. Where it was just like.
Does he run Mario 64?
No, I was just referring to the fact. Well, you're talking about just like making a reference that nobody understands. My brother does like this thing where he like will make a reference to something no one has ever heard of, and he's like, "Oh, you don't know the reference," and he knows that you're not gonna know the reference, so he uses this joke as an excuse to explain the reference to you, and then he just stunlocks you in a conversation for like 3 minutes.
My favorite
like,
is when
why am I here?
my friend Loner Hero. So there was a point where, until I told him to stop doing this, he would meld inside jokes with like other inside jokes from different social circles, and then like, and I was part of both of these social circles that he would be like mixing the inside jokes with, and then he would like say it in like in whatever fashion or whatever at like a totally like not correct time, and then people would be like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, dude, you need to stop like mixing and matching your memes or inside jokes.
I have a question.
Like,
when he did that, does that count as like inside joke incest, or like what do we classify that as?
it's a inside jokeception. That's what it is.
Oh, the other
I
eye.
didn't
or-
go with incest right away.
Well,
what made
because
you go with that?
because it's like two families, you know, of like different.
No, it's
jokes.
two social circles.
But if they're two
it was-
families, that's just normal sex, dude.
But
It's
they're
if
combining into one big family, you know.
That's just normal. That's just normal sex.
I'm Ace. I have nothing to contribute to this conversation.
Aces don't
Anyway,
understand tribalism.
I don't know. All I know is that
Wait,
Nestani, you
acists
were
or
the
racists? Which one is
Look,
Jax? Tell us in the comments below. Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. My name is Nestani.
I'm Jaxler, apparently racist.
People have been saying this. I'm just saying.
You've been
King.
saying
I know what to
it.
comment.
I'm people.
Okay.
I'm DECosmic, and I'm upset.
And the DE stands for Delaware for those that didn't know.
It's true.
Just to remind
Deep
everyone.
lore.
Yeah.
The deep lore.
Yeah, the deep lore of DECosmic, who's deep in some... Anyway, Cole, get introduced.
I wish.
My name
Actually,
is
fuck
Coley
it.
in the CO. Oh, all right.
No, I'm
well.
just-
Go ahead.
Now
Go
my
ahead, Cole.
joke isn't gonna land as much
Now
better.
you have to do a very grand reference, like, you know, You have to be very
a grand
funny
entrance.
Now.
Yeah,
a grand entrance. You have to be very funny now. Yeah, go ahead. Introduce yourself. Funny. Be funny, man.
My name is Cole, and the CO stands for Colorado.
But you don't even live in Colorado.
That was a 4 out of 10.
We'll take it.
Yeah, we let it move.
Like,
yeah,
reminds
we
me
move.
of like this like series of like D&D YouTube shorts that get animated that keep popping up into my feed of like this Chuckles the Clown guy. I don't know if anybody knows.
I know what you're talking about. Except I don't know the D&D thing, but
yeah. And I was like, why is Chuckles in the call now? I don't like this. So thanks for doing that.
How do you guys think I should improve my joke?
Get better material.
Here, I'll take some notes.
Okay, here we go.
I'll take some notes real quick.
Damn, that's a big ass pencil. You compensating for something over there, big dog? Or should I say little dog? Little pup?
Oh, he's writing like
don't say little pup.
Little pup?
I was gonna say that's
little pup.
Little bro.
You don't like the little pup?
All right.
I see he writes like 21 Savage.
No, he died.
Is this how he writes? I'll keep writing like that.
This is so people that hold the pencil like that is definitely the type of music that 21 Savage writes for.
21.
That's the audience 21. That he writes for.
Can you do something for me?
Yeah.
Can you hit a little wrist flex for me?
He's writing like he's stirring a pot.
Yeah, exactly, dude. That's the demographic that 21 Savage writes music for.
Do you think Drake and 21 explored each other's bodies?
Yes.
No, because if his name was 14 Savage, then he definitely would have, but not 21 Savage.
Nice, good one. Expert level. Hey, you don't need to write things about pedophiles. You can erase that.
You could wipe that from your memory.
Yeah, you don't want to train to be a pedophile. You want to train to be a normal human. I don't know what the opposite of a pedophile is. I'll be so real. I don't know how to.
Optimus Prime.
No, that's a transformer.
He's the opposite of a pedophile.
But he's a transformer.
What the fuck?
Are the Autobots
I have no idea what's happening, but I'm just gonna keep.
There's at least 7.
The Decepticons aren't pedophiles either. I've never heard of Megatron grooming a child.
The Transformers. Yeah, Drake, the original pedophile.
Just trying to kill everyone. I don't know what you're on.
Well, that's the thing. I'm just saying. Megatron couldn't groom a child because he just touched the child and it explode. It would just
No, he would probably just shoot the child. It wouldn't.
That's probably true.
That's
yeah,
not they have guns. They don't just explode people. They're just metal hands.
Dude, I was watching clips from. I was watching clips from Transformers the other day.
Which one? There's a lot. That doesn't narrow it down at all.
It's the one where Optimus, I think, first gets it. The movies. Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's the one where Megatron says, "Who are you without me, Prime?" And then Optimus Prime goes, "Time to find out," and then fucking slices him in half or whatever. Yeah. And I was like, that shit is so based, bro. That shit was so hard.
I'm glad that he did that. I've never seen whatever you're talking about, but I'm glad that he did that because I'm so sick of narratives always being like, I'm the main villain and you, the good guy, could never be anything without me, the bad guy. And then they're like,
our comment is and that's it. I'm not about to read all of that. I'm sorry that happened, or I'm happy for you.
It's interesting you say that because a lot of that stuff is a little subversive of what is typical storytelling, because a lot of that stuff kind of goes unspoken, right? Especially in, I guess, shoto mangas or whatever. It's very often
Nestani's reaction was really funny there.
Or shoto animes or whatever it's called.
He's like, what are you talking
Where are we going?
But stuff like Fairy Tail or Dragon Ball, that sort of stuff, right? So bear with me. Okay.
I don't have a bear in the room. Do you want me to go buy one?
Yes. You can leave for a couple of hours and then you can go buy a bear. So anyway.
Audio listeners love you to death. He got up and is going to go buy a bear. But in the meantime, let's keep talking about whatever we're talking about right now.
So basically, in a lot of I guess what you want to call formulaic writing, right? Let's go with comic books too. A lot of this stuff goes unspoken where the hero is dependent on villains existing, right? And
like Batman.
a lot of subversion of that trope is just sort of saying it out in the open, and then a villain being self-aware of that, you know, or a villain trying to leverage this against the hero. A lot of that, like a lot of, I guess the subversions of Batman, for example, some of it is like about psychoanalyzing him. One of the interpretations in the graphic novel, Whatever Happened to the Cape Crusader, posits that, like, you know, Alfred hired a bunch of people to go after Bruce Wayne, and Alfred was actually the Joker, and that sort of stuff. It's just a what if scenario, but a lot of that stuff was like intriguing at the time that it started, and then people go, oh, that's cool, let me write something exactly like that, or something like similar to that, and then it becomes its own genre unto itself, which sort of goes against what the original idea is. Much like how Watchmen, as a subversion of superhero like comics in general, started this whole, like, it was a big part, I should say, of this like trend of like morally gray superheroes, and then a lot of people used it as like a launch pad to be like, yeah, we're gonna make our superheroes assholes, or we're gonna do some lazy writing, and now our superheroes curse, you know, or whatever.
Wait, they say damn and hell.
They say damn now, yeah.
Where's that damn fourth Chaos Emerald?
Or hell. They're like, you're going to hell. And then the villain's like, oh my God, I can't believe you said that. Yeah.
Also, I just want to say
it's
that
very
I
much
walked out of
why
my room and I really wanted to come back with a bear, but then I realized that we don't have a stuffed animal. In
That
this entire
sucks,
house.
dude.
And
I was
thought
rooting
about it
for
'cause I
you,
was thinking about it 'cause
honestly.
I was walking away and I was like, this is going to be a really good bit. And then I left my
It
room.
would have been.
And then I was like,
great.
we don't have
It'd
that
been
shit
so
here.
good.
I guess I could have brought my dog, but that's not a bear. So
That'd been funny though. You could
See,
just say
I
its
thought-
name was
I
Bear.
thought, like, I just looking at Nestani that point, it was just like, I wish I could be anywhere else right now. I was just looking at Nestani, it's just like, this sucks.
Yeah.
It's just like,
well, see, I didn't
No,
think
I'm
he was
just
going to
gonna-
go on
that's
this like
happening
big
more and
long
more
thing.
frequently.
I was just going to make a comment that like Optimus saying that is just basically them breaking the fourth wall, and I think that was all it was, because like.
also Michael
The delivery on that line was great.
Like villain, then there's no movie, right? So aren't they just breaking the fourth wall with that? And that's just like
but what
In
cut
some
dry.
way,
I think it's
well,
kinda
in
cringe,
some
but,
way,
you know.
they are. I think that delivery on the line is really good.
Well, it's a
I
good
think
delivery.
in the
I
later
like the
movies,
movie.
yeah.
I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. I remember the scene.
sometimes stupid, like, dumb things can be entertaining. Like, that's the
It's
other.
not even
Yeah, like
stupid or dumb.
Kaiser.
It just goes hard as hell, bro. It's just like, again, it's like the subversion of the subversion, right? Where the villain is saying out loud to, I guess, you know, to your point, Nestani, he's saying to the readers, yeah, this conflict doesn't exist without me. And then Optimus is flipping that on its head and going, we're going to find out what happens when you're not around. You know, the answer is that a new evil rises up, you know, that sort of thing.
Oh,
But it, you know, the counterpoint to the counterpoint to the counterpoint does not exist. All that matters is Optimus Prime saying, fuck you, I'm gonna kill your ass.
Those
That's what
movies are tight.
his exact
which
words.
is awesome.
Yeah.
I haven't
I
seen
mean,
that.
that's,
And then-
I like murder.
And then he turns to, yeah, big fan of murder.
Same.
Then he turns to the other Transformer who like betrayed them, and then he like shoots him in the back of the head as the guy's like, no, Optimus, don't. And he's like, you didn't betray me, you only betrayed yourself. And then like shoots him or like slices his head open or shoots him in the back of the head, whatever it
man,
is.
this guy doesn't remember the
But-
movie. That's kind of crazy.
It was tight.
That guy sounds so badass. And on top of that, he can turn into a truck.
It's true.
And
Yeah.
drive away
To
after
turn
he
it-
does this shit
And
illegally.
drive
I'm
away
going
like
to
a
the cops.
badass.
I'm going to turn into a truck now.
I don't think he's ever said that.
There
I don't think that's
is.
a line that he has.
Well, I think that people had voted for that line to make it into the end of the first movie, and then they just didn't do it. Something like that.
Why were people allowed to vote on a line to make it?
This is why people
So-
shouldn't be allowed to vote.
It was like, so there's a YouTube video out there where he gives the whole speech at the end of like the first Transformers live action film where he's like, to any Autobots, you know, hiding amongst the stars, we're here on Earth, you know, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then like Linkin Park's song is playing in the background, and then he just goes,
I would love this movie, man.
and then he goes, I'm going to turn into a truck now. What I've done.
That would be so sick. That would be awesome.
That's a YouTube video. I've seen it before.
Awesome.
I need to find
that,
it again.
I want that in the canon though. Like I want
for
that
real,
real.
yeah, for real.
Yeah,
it's
man.
great.
Wow.
I was gonna say too,
Well,
in terms of subversions,
guys,
like, go ahead.
Yeah.
No,
Please go ahead.
No, go on.
No, go
Yeah,
ahead.
go ahead.
He's gonna keep going.
Stop
Don't
here.
let him. Pivot.
Pivot?
I don't know. Listen, I don't know if you guys want me to pivot, because
So
right,
speaking
you know
of
what,
pivoting, subversions of comics too,
wanna
kind of
try
going the other
We're
direction.
retention right now. we're murdering it.
I want to try the
We're
Goon Bag.
self-sabotaging right now.
What's the Goon
I
Bag?
want to
dude?
try the Goon Bag.
What?
Isn't that just the
What is the
Asmongold
Goon Bag?
challenge, or what are you referring to?
I want to. No, I want to.
Twice in a row.
Time
Twice,
out.
like
I
2
wanna
weeks
try
in a
the
row, we
Goon
mentioned
Bag.
Asmongold.
I want to try the Goon Bag. The Goon Bag is this thing in Australia
Oh boy.
where they sell boxed wine, but it's in bags. It's like Canadians with their milk, except they're not doing that anymore. Apparently, the Canadians
good.
aren't going to do bag milk anymore.
They finally
We're
evolved
not
to the
putting
19th
Canadians
century.
in bags anymore.
But
We should
they
put them in
call these
bags.
bags of wine Goon Bags, and it's like you put it on a clothes line, like a clothesline that you put outside to dry stuff. You
What
put
is this,
the bag of
1840?
wine on that. Well, I don't know. They're
Well,
Australians, dude.
yeah,
what
they're
are they
basically
doing
living
What
in
are they doing
1840.
over there?
That's
They're in the
true.
middle of the desert fighting kangaroos.
Yeah,
they're
true.
fighting the roos. But they dangle this
That
bag
sounded
of
racist.
wine
I'm just gonna say.
on a closing
Good.
line. Well, it took the words right out of my mouth.
Why do we call them clothes? But they're
No, Australia,
they're full
I'd
of
love
holes.
to visit you sometime. Anyway,
I'd love to be
just
inside of
getting
you,
back to my point,
Australians.
it's just a drinking game where you just have a bag of wine and a closing hang thing, and then you drink it all, and it sounds, and they call it a Goon Bag.
So what you're saying is
So-
that you want a goon.
I want a goon. I want to
He, in
try the
fact, does
Goon
want to
Bag.
goon. He does
I've
want
said
to
this many times. I want to try the Goon.
Well, I don't drink alcohol, so
So-
I will not be participating. So
Well, that's fine. You could probably.
So-
There's probably
So-
non-alcoholic
sparkling
Goon
bagged
bags.
wine.
Yeah.
The sparkling
Diet
goon,
Goon.
also known as Edward Cullen.
Goon, please kill yourself expeditiously.
Wait, what did you say? Hold on.
This man said Diet Goon
Diet Goon. Oh my god.
with his chest.
The 0 calorie, 0 sugar gooning, dude. Holy crap.
Listen. I don't even remember what I
Wouldn't
was
it be
doing. but I
negative
saw
calories?
this
Because aren't you
video.
like burning
Why
calories when
should
you're
I have to listen to anything you say now?
Possible.
Like,
Yeah,
you say listen.
technically.
Wait,
No, I
that's
don't
actually
think
a
I'm
really
going
good.
to.
Is that a great way to lose weight?
No, actually.
Oh,
bagging your goon? Is that the way?
Yeah. I'm not a doctor, by the way. Don't take my medical advice. It's not even medical advice. Don't even do it. I
Goon
don't.
Instead, you should
Responsibly.
take my
Goon
you should take my
responsibly.
medical advice instead.
Yeah.
Goon in the comfort of your own home.
Yeah. Not on stream though. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Yeah, you
don't do
don't
that on
do that.
stream.
No. Wait, can I ask you guys a question that is... I'm going to pivot away from gooning unless anybody else wants to talk about the goon bag.
It couldn't happen sooner, dude.
Yeah, you're doing us all a favor.
All right.
Go for it.
Guys, have you watched Validity stream recently?
And now, has she guest starred any cats on there recently?
No, I don't know. I was reaching for something really hard.
They're no longer making cameos.
No. I think her sister was on her stream recently though.
Talking about.
You know who Alinity is. What? Actually, no, you don't. You don't know who the fuck anyone is besides the Beatles. Go on with
Dude, I
whatever
didn't
the
know
fuck you were saying.
Besides,
Let's get out
He,
of here.
he okay, hold on. He
That's what I'm
knows
saying.
more people besides the Beatles. He knows King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
Because of
Right.
me. What do you
Yes, I know. I never said that he didn't know it because of just you. I just said he knows them. Checkmate, atheists. So Cole, go ahead.
Yeah. So, can I ask, do you guys like store-bought sugar cookies with the frosting on it?
Like the thick
Yeah, I can-
ones,
you know what I'm
like
talking
the like
I
the
can
thick
go for
powdery
You mean
ones?
like the
Yeah,
the over frosting or
They got
whatever?
like little sprinkles. Yeah. You
Oh,
like
I
those?
think I see. 'em. Yeah, those are pretty
When
good.
I
Yeah.
was 250 pounds, yes. Now
That was the goat. Yeah.
I'm all right. I'll still eat them though because I'm fat as fuck. But I will,
Yeah, I mean, they
it's
can
not my
probably
first
make like a
choice,
nice
but if you
snack.
put it
Yeah,
in
it's
front
not
of me
the first
and
choice.
you make me think about it long enough, I'll eat it.
Really?
I have no will.
Yeah, no,
if
it's
you put
one of the
anything
worst
like
things
sugar in
anybody
front of
could
me,
buy.
I'll eat it.
I'm diabetic.
Yeah, but I just eat sugar, so I don't have.
Yeah.
Dude, there are such better things for the same price with the equal amount of sugar that taste way better than those cookies. I'm
Yeah.
sick of people thinking those cookies are good.
Well,
they're
they're not
just
good.
brainwashed with a childhood that was like, these cookies were my life, dude. These cookies, they got me through the tough times, They got me through the rough patches.
Bro was
And
just
it's
working
like,
through all three of his
no.
accents tonight.
It was just the only sugar you could afford.
Bro was just
True,
working
yeah.
through all three of his
There are
accents
better
tonight.
cookies that were the same price.
Look, Cole, if you haven't been so behind on rent that the 5 for $1 Flavor Aid doesn't look appealing to you, then I don't want your opinion on affordable snacks. Like,
There's way better. There's just way better than those cookies. And honestly now it's like they're not even affordable. Like it's just
Well,
like
nothing's affordable
Whatever.
anymore,
nothing is, yeah.
Well,
That's true.
thanks for ruining my argument.
Besides
Yeah.
subscribing
will-
to the podcast, that's free
However-
of charge,
Just-
and liking the video, also
That's
free of
true,
charge.
you could.
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can help
Wow,
us
that's really
afford
good.
more of these sugar cookies.
Yeah.
So
No, I'm not. So we're not no,
I will be
but it's like
buying it with
every
all
year-
the proceeds.
Yeah. The reason why I bring this up though is that every year, these cookies are, well, I guess I've seen like them on 4th of July and stuff, but like every year it's like, that's when these cookies are getting eaten. That's when these cookies are being just advertised for the taking.
Wait, I
And
just want
get
to
in
say, you said
debate
the
with all
4th
my
of July.
friends.
Did you say 4th of July?
Yeah, I've seen them in the
It's
shape of, like,
November
Yeah, they're
12th
definitely-
today.
blues.
Why is
No,
this
but
on
I'm
your
saying
mind?
I've seen it.
Well, it's
Why
any
is
so
this
it's,
the hill
it's
you're
any
dying on?
it's any holiday time
right.
period. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It is every holiday, but it really just comes up during Christmas. Is that
Christmas, Easter,
yeah,
4th of
But
July.
that's when I had this debate with friends, and they think I'm an idiot.
What friends?
So Jesus Christ.
No, fine. No.
So the thing
something else. No,
the thing is well, here's the thing, right, is that like
it's fine.
The cookies
I
are
think
bad.
that too
Objectively, they are trash.
I think
I'm with you.
I think that they're
Cookies suck.
okay. I think that they're okay. All right. I think there's a ton of better options about it, at that time. But like sometimes you look at those things, and you just see how vibrant the colors are, and it's like, damn, yo.
Sometimes you just
And
want to
then
put a
you just
cute
want
thing
to
in your
Okay,
mouth.
antifreeze looks like bright blue. You don't go drinking that. What?
Don't speak for yourself. So back to the cookies. So the vibrant like Easter cookies too, with like the yellow frosting and the sprinkles on there, like. Sometimes, bro, you just want to eat something that has the consistency of a pillow. Like, I don't know what to tell you. It just sugary pillow,
What's
bro.
up with do you want your food to be like highlighters? Like, did you eat Tide Pods back then when it was cool, or like?
Yeah, bro.
Wow, that was really brave of you. Honestly, I could have never done that.
No, it was really stupid, but
Like,
I'm still
comment,
alive,
subscribe
so
if you think that's brave.
Mm.
Eating a
Totally
Tide
brave.
Pod.
Sometimes
Yeah.
you just see a cute, vibrant, colorful thing and you want to put it in your mouth.
yeah, absolutely. No, I feel that. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking from experience there?
Yeah, actually. So,
I'm not.
back to the.
I don't have.
yeah.
I don't have any experience.
Uh-huh.
Comment down below if you want to change that.
Go on, Cosmic. Go on, Cosmic. Explain.
I'm actually not going. So here's how this conversation would go.
Dude, I saw
is
you
I would.
looking at the camera and I was like,
Is-
shit, he's gonna do something.
I was waiting for Nestani to launch. However, I will not be talking about my sex life on here because I'll go on a whole rant and then all Jax is going to hit me with is, yes, but I'm ace, so like I don't have anything to contribute here. And then that's going to be the end of the conversation.
and then
Then it's going to be
I'll
like,
say-
Actually,
well,
no, I'll
I
just
don't
say
know.
you're a loser, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
imagine having sex. What a fucking dork.
And then I won't have anything to add, and Cole won't have anything to add, and then we'll
it's
just
true.
be here.
I'll be talking to myself,
But
much like,
speaking of adding
like
and
that.
going back
streams.
to like the being too poor that you just buy the sugar cookies, I got reminded of this story. So like when us poor folks, we go to the store, right? We have a list and we write down the prices and we add them up as we shop, to make sure that we don't go over our budget, right? And so I did this my whole life.
Hell yeah, budgeting.
Literally whole life. I would watch my mom walk into the store with her list and I would be like, Mom, can we have that? No, nigga, shut the fuck up. And I'll be like, okay, Mom, I don't think you're allowed to say that because you're white, but...
Yeah, I was going to say that. I was like, hold on.
But, we kept it pushing because I was like, I guess you have the pass. You made me, so, what am I going to do? But she would walk around with this list, right? And so I remember, fast forward, I'm in high school now. I'm in my junior year.
Whoa.
And I get my first girlfriend ever, right? And so... We're at their house and they need to go to the store before we go home. I think I went home with them from school and they stopped by the store, right? And so they were walking through the store and I was walking, with them with my girlfriend. I was like, hee hee ha ha woohoo. I'm like so in love. I wasn't. The relationship lasted for 3 months anyway.
It could still have been love, just not very long lasting love. Sometimes love is single serving.
Ooh.
But continue.
Sometimes love is a single-use plastic. And speaking of other single-use plastics in the store, they were just picking all of them up. And I was just walking around and my girlfriend at the time, she would just take shit and just put it in the cart. She would pick something up that she wanted.
Pick something up and just do it. Yeah.
And put it in the cart. There would be no conversation at all, with her mom or anything hey, can I get this? She just put it in. She would walk away from her mother, pick up something, find that bitch, drop it in the cart, and I was just looking.
What?
What are we doing? And that's when I realized, man, I was broke as fuck, and there's levels to this shit. And since then, I'm like, dude, I want to be rich enough that I can just walk in the store, buy whatever, and just leave. That
was your class awakening. That's my
goal. My goal is just walk into the store, buy whatever, and leave. Not look at anything. Just be like, oh, I want this.
Yeah, it's like that classic quote where it's ordering at a restaurant without a care for what the price is the true definition of success. And honestly, true,
dude. I still remember I remember that day clearly I remember nothing, by the way, audio listeners. Cosmic tells me things that I've said 2 weeks ago. I don't remember it.
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember walking through that store and I was just I was literally wide-eyed what the fuck is this bitch doing? I didn't say that out loud because I you know what I mean?
Because you loved her. Yeah.
No, because I'm
not
a black man
with
two white ladies. I'm not going to say shit. I'm just going to be there. You know what I mean? But I was looking at her. I was like, bitch, are you insane? And then I was just like, damn.
That was the moment that radicalized you.
I don't know what you're referencing here. I don't know what the word radicalized means in this context.
So I should say here too, audio listeners, I'm going to just pivot hard, by the way, because I don't feel like explaining radicalization.
Are you just inferring that this is when I started liking white women more?
No,
because that started when I was 7 when I saw Haley Williams.
I was going to say, yeah.
Oh
wait, who
my
again?
God,
Haley
it
Williams.
all comes back to Haley
Williams.
My goat.
Never fails.
Honestly, bars.
If you want to know my type, audio listeners,
Spit
it's
your
just
shit.
Haley Williams.
Yeah. If you look like Haley Williams,
call me.
Call him. Yes. Yeah. Hit like and subscribe
I cannot picture. Let me look up Haley Williams. I don't remember what she looks like for the life of me.
Dude, she is perfect.
Imagine not being able to picture Haley Williams at the drop of a hat. Couldn't be me, dude.
I can picture her any time of the day, 24 hours a day. I could probably draw her, and I can't draw her.
Shout outs to women.
Just to Haley Williams.
So
women.
I will say too. Good job, women. I will say too, audio or listeners, just listeners of any kind.
Yeah, even if you have eyes, fucking pussies.
True. Yeah. Visual
How dare
listeners.
you have eyes. You should give them to the blind people. You should feel bad.
So Nestani is not lying either when he says that I bring up stuff to him all the time that he said. And I've been doing this thing recently where I close the gap on how far away from the present that thing he said is in an attempt to see how far away things start to shift. And I don't have any meaningful data at this point because I have to try for we're down to the week or two mark, and he's still hitting me with the I don't remember saying that, but I believe you because that sounds like something I would say. I agree with past me.
Look, honestly, like in Nestani's defense,
I'm nothing but consistent because you say something I say, and I'm like, I agree with that still.
I agree with that, yeah. That is an interesting point, too, before you launch, Jax, is that, like, imagine being, like, so removed from your own memories that even in retrospect, you can look at yourself as an outside person and just agree with yourself. That's how you know you're, like, at peace, right? Like, you're at peace internally, where you can have an outside perspective on your own statements and just go, yeah, that sounds like me. You know, like that is like a next level. Like that's not even an out of body experience. That is just like an out of ideology experience, essentially. You know, or an out of like lived experiences experience.
Level.
Yeah, is essentially. Nestani has in some way perfected through memory loss the art of astral projection. Like it is honestly impressive.
That got real.
It's impressive.
That
I
went
said,
on like
yeah.
a theoretical chiropractic level.
What
right
the fuck
there.
is astral projection, bro?
Much like chiropractic, this is all pseudoscience that I'm talking about. So, Jaxler, go ahead.
I was just gonna say you gotta give Nestani some credit because the man is just so busy with his life that I don't blame him for not remembering shit. He's just got more shit. Like for me, I remember shit, but I don't have shit going for me right now. So it's like,
Jax,
you know,
I hate to just like break your whole point right now, but I've been doing fucking nothing these past 6 months besides like jerking off and going to work, like and doing this fucking podcast. That's all I've been doing. I'll just like
in November,
bro. What did we say?
Especially
we
in
established
November.
something last week. What was it? It was Erection Day in the middle of.
Oh yeah, it was Erection Day.
Non-stop.
Oh, yeah.
Non-stop.
Yeah, I forgot we
Participating in
said
the
that. That does sound
Asmongold
like
Challenge
something
for
we
the
would
second week
say.
in a row.
The true November rain is the non-stop nut.
All right.
That's crazy.
That took him a second to figure that out. That took him a long time.
I had to process that for a second. That's wild.
I saw the gears turn and I was waiting for it.
Yeah,
But like the
sometimes your brain just has to take a second to process, you know, and it just so happens that whenever I'm processing anything, everyone can see it in real time because I just freeze and I'm like ah.
yeah, it's like your face is stuck in a loading screen.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm behaving like a fucking PS2 console, bro. I'm just stuck in a loading screen the whole goddamn time. Just like
That's why you gotta load it on the hard drive,
Hit
dude.
the loading trigger and like the fucking disc is spinning at the bottom.
Oh god.
Just put that in the middle of Nestani's forehead. It's just like the disc spinning.
pretty much, honestly.
You need to put the dial-up tone like in the post-production.
Yeah,
That's what it's called, dude. I was trying to make that joke and I was like, I don't remember.
Yeah,
what
you're too young to remember dial-up, so you know.
Yeah.
I guess
I
like
actually kind
the
of am,
three of
yeah.
us.
Yeah.
I feel like Cosmic remembers because Cosmic is a fossilized creature, but like.
Oh,
probably all
my
kind of
brittle
young,
old
but-
man bones. I remember. I do remember, as a matter of fact, like the infancy of the internet, and my parents like.
Don't trust
Saying-
anything you read on the internet.
Well, I
hate
do
to blow up your
remember.
whole
I
joke.
think I remember. I think I remember them saying. I wasn't getting ready to do a joke. I was
Oh,
ready
okay.
to.
I thought you were.
I
Gonna
was
build up
basically
to saying
saying, like-
they don't say anything on the internet, and then you're gonna make a joke of them always being on their fucking phones, and be like, "Have you seen this name on it?" That's where I thought you were going.
No,
Sorry, I really.
but
I
my
predicted
parents
so
actually-
far ahead, and then I blabbered it out, and I was like, "Wait,
Bro
maybe that's where
saw
he was
the
going with
future,
it,"
and the
and then I
future was
walked it back,
incorrect.
but then I had to explain it, and so
There's an
now
alternate
this whole
universe.
thing isn't funny anymore. I've
Yeah.
turned into
I'm
Cosmic.
still laughing.
Yeah, nobody asked, honestly.
It's all good. Wow, you've turned into me. That's fucking cold,
You
dude.
hate to see it.
Yeah.
That
hate to
is,
see it
that
happen.
is
It's
It's not
cold.
cold in my room though. It's really hot because I had to turn off my fan so it doesn't sound like shit in my room.
It is 68 in my room right now.
It's 69
Yeah, it's like-
outside.
Yeah, it's like 60 something.
Nice.
It's always 69 in my
What were you
room.
gonna
So-
say though?
With my parents, I remember when we first got the internet, and like I don't even remember how the internet was first explained to me, because we had to like use the phone line in order to even connect. Right the idea of being able to call people, like being on the phone at the same time as somebody was on the internet, was like unheard of when I was a kid. So it was very interesting to kind of see the the point at which I don't remember exactly when the internet took off. I don't remember what computer we had. It was an Apple computer, but I don't remember which model. At the very least, it was a Macintosh of some kind, but it might have been a later model of the Macintosh.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry, Jax. Did you say boo or ew to that?
Yes, it did.
This nigga has a fucking iPhone. Anyway,
I know.
Continue, Cosmic. What are you talking about?
I'm just trying to make a reference. Okay, continue with your hyperfixation.
Honestly,
Did you watch a good Pixar movie on that?
I thought he said ooh, as in like going, ooh, dang, that's early. You know, like that's early in the
not to be
infancy of
confused
the
with moo
internet,
dang either.
That's what I thought.
You know.
Yeah. I trust you're familiar with the exploits of Moo Dang. So,
I'm really not. Cutie Cinderella just references moo dang a lot, so I know what the name is.
I just
don't
saw
know
a
what
tweet.
the fuck it is, so.
It's a small hippo on the internet that people seem obsessed with. All I remember is that this meme,
dude. Oh, fuck that hippo. I'm so sick of that hippo, man.
Apparently, somebody's, because it's not cute.
It's like, come on.
It's not
He's
cute,
just a
bro.
little guy.
That's
He didn't do
cute.
shit. He didn't,
What do you mean it's not cute?
He
Cosmic,
didn't
do
do
you think
shit. The
possums are
people
cute?
around him did shit.
Hey,
Yeah, I think possums are kind of cute.
I just want to say that, like, we, like, go, like, 2 weeks in a row of Jax being like, I fucking hate animals. Animals are fucking cringe. Fucking hate dogs, hate cats. Fuck all these niggas that like the dogs and cats. And then he's like, moo dang's so cute, though. Like, what are we on? Like, where
Jax, defend yourself. Give yourself time now.
Hippos can kill people, and I respect hustle.
He did say he was a big fan of murder, so
That's true.
Exactly.
yeah, that's fair. That's consistent.
If I
Yeah.
can find common ground, then I can find common ground. You know,
Yeah.
it's like
You know, Thanos
Jack's
was
looking
onto
around at
something.
animals that cannot kill anything, and he's like, "What are you?"
Yeah,
here
those fucking pussy ass cats.
I mean, dogs can, but they choose not to because they're pussies. So it's like
No, they're bitches.
For? Are you a fan of wolves then? Are you a fan of
they're
wolves?
fine. I usually stick to deer though, and it's just like I want to see them.
Deer get killed, bro. Like, I mean, they're
but
400 pounds.
I want human beings to die. Do you understand
Well,
this?
if you think about it, the reason he doesn't care for wolves is because wolves kill deer, and deer actually probably kill more humans than wolves do by sitting out in their car.
See?
And getting
Oh, that's true.
fucking
Yeah,
ran into
I
and
remember
dying.
a car that I
fucking
had.
hit a deer on the way home from the gym yesterday. Like,
Oh
fuck.
God. I remember a deer jumping out in front of my car one night that I was driving to my buddy's house, and like that thing had it out for me. I swear to God, because that shit leapt the barrier and came over to the other side of the road and went right in front of my car. Totaled that shit too. So that was great.
Wow.
Yeah, that was an interesting time too, because there was at least like 3 rednecks in the area that were like, that's good eating, right? While they were trying to help me like
Yeah.
move the deer and all that fun
I
stuff.
mean, they're not wrong.
That
it's
deer-
venison, man.
Also
That sounds
had
like
its
my
like
worst
antler.
nightmare, by the way.
That'll happen too.
It,
If like you're
like-
in Maine and you hit a moose, like there's like
Oh,
a squad
yeah.
of people who will show up.
Oh my god, dude!
They're
I
just
cannot
waiting on the-
imagine hitting a
They're
moose. I've seen
waiting on
videos.
the side of the fucking road, dude, just for like the meese to hit people, dude. Just like
Bro,
bam.
it's mooses.
Did you
I
say
know.
meese?
Yes, it's meese now. We're gonna go with meese. I'm actually an expert in the field of 4-legged wildlife, so it's meese now.
I'm just gonna say that,
dude.
like, if I was in Cosmic's position and I ran into a deer and then 3 rednecks showed up and said that was good eating, I would think they were referencing me, not the deer.
Understandable, honestly.
And that terrifies me.
Bummer.
So the thing too is
I'd probably
that
call my thighs hippopotamuses because we could both crush some melons.
so is your
Bro, we
new
know
name
your thighs
Cole?
That didn't help the awkward
We
silence
know your
at all.
thighs.
That
We know
actually
your
made it a
thighs
lot
ain't.
worse.
Yeah, we know your thighs ain't crushing melons.
Oh no, I was fine with the
know,
silence.
like-
I would like
yourself.
to disagree. I think I could actually do something.
Audio listeners, Cole's showing his
I got
cock.
some legs. I got some legs. You can't really see it.
He's pulling his cock out.
He's blowing his cock. Charlie.
I think I got something. I think I got something to work with. Sorry. I
Those
didn't
definitely
mean
look like some dance pad legs. Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely got the
So-
fucking pasty white, bro. He hit that reflector,
Yes.
dog. He pulled out a diffuser on his fucking leg, dude. He just walks around with that shit.
Yeah.
This
Got a
deer, by
flashbang
the
on his
way,
leg.
it like the way it my car hit it. It like fell on the side, and then its antler hooked into the hood, and then it like slid up and like folded the hood of my car into like an upside down V shape. And then it fell off and the whole antler was gone. Like it just like separated from the deer. And that thing was getting ready to like get up and limp away before a dude in his truck like pulled over and like pulled it off the road. And like I'm sitting there taking pictures of my car and then I just hear bang right behind me. And I'm like, man, what the fuck? Like, and he put the thing out of its misery. Yeah, he put it out of its misery because that's
crazy.
It was kicking, but like barely. Like it was barely alive, and it had lost the antler and everything. And I was just like, that was probably like 400 or 500 pounds of pure fucking muscle.
What time of year did this happen?
I don't actually remember. It was back in, I want to say 2014.
Back in black.
But I'm talking like season. Like, was it around this time?
I mean, it might have been around this time, but it might have also been in the summer. A lot of those years kind of blur for me because when you work retail, everything kind of blurs together. As long as it was a clear day out, it could have been spring, summer, or fall. I don't really know.
Right. Well, I don't know. I was just curious because of like antler development or whatever. And all that stuff.
They were pretty long antlers, so I'm not really sure. Honestly, I wasn't even aware that like antler development was like a seasonal thing.
Antlers, you know.
Yeah, they were pretty big.
Yeah. Huge, massive.
But like I'm sitting there waiting for the cops and everything, and to come and like assess the situation or whatever because it was technically an accident. Blah blah blah.
Technically, no, I think it was premeditated.
Yeah, premeditated. Yeah, the deer. I would say it was premeditated because that deer definitely hopped the fucking fence, actually that was a fucking whole ass barricade, and just came right for my car. But
dude, that's why we should build the wall.
So these rednecks, like, they're all just standing around, like, waiting for the cop to show up and, like, clear everything so that they can, like, fucking take the deer. And I'm like, and then I think at some point, like, 30 minutes hit, and they were like, man, it's probably already, like, bled all over the meat and everything. Like, it's probably ruined now. And I'm like, thanks y'all for pulling over, but like, can we show a little bit of like?
I'm glad you care about my.
I was gonna say,
my situation, but
like, wow. that was the whole reaction, right? But it worked out. I mean, I eventually bought my dad's car, and then he actually I bought my dad's car off of him, and then using the money that he got from me, he bought a hybrid. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a silver lining. It sucks, but.
I'm just interpreting what you said. I thought it'd be funny.
I didn't hear anything you said, so.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway,
I'll hear it in the edit though. I'll boost it so everyone can hear
I'm
it.
sure you will. I'm sure you will.
He'll hear that in a couple of
Nestani
noises.
Sees all and hears all.
That's true.
Yeah, they call me Santa Claus, except I'm not a predator.
Is that so?
So speaking of Santa Claus, I just finished playing.
If you listen to the Santa Claus is coming to town, that guy is doing something.
You when you're sleeping.
He's coming to town. He's doing a lot more than coming.
He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake.
Yeah, otherwise he's gonna come.
He just got out of No Nut November. He's gonna do something. So.
Yeah.
So
he's reared and ready
for me.
Speaking of Santa Claus,
Christmas music for me right now.
Hey guys, did you know that Santa baby is really just a guy trying to?
Yeah, he's trying to fuck.
He's trying to.
Honestly,
he's trying to.
That's basically a song about date rape. Not to ruin more Christmas songs for you guys.
Yeah, you did.
You know, at
Thanks.
least
So,
Mariah Carey is like all I want for Christmas is you, and that's like fun and cool. Except for the fact that she'll hear the
Mariah
song.
Carey does not want me for Christmas. Let's be very clear.
How do you know? I bet Mariah Carey would fiend over some Neopets the Darkest Fairy.
There's
honestly.
simply no way.
You never know, bro.
Imagine Mariah Carey's like live, and she's like, "Anybody know Frog Monster? Anybody know Frog Monster?"
All I want for Christmas is frog.
Yo, she's trying to get some Toad.
She actually posted a video that literally was like, "I'm thawing," like in reference to the meme. Like she's all
thawing. Oh god,
it's probably not even her. It's probably her marketing team or whatever.
Well, that's also probably true. Yeah.
Chat, I'm thawing. I'm thaw-maxing?
I don't know, man.
It sucks. I'm sorry.
What does
Thaw-maxing? You mean
Christmas.
warming up? True.
I'm not gonna say that.
So speaking of Christmas, I just finished playing Nightmare Before Christmas, Oogie's Revenge, and I would just like to say to everybody on the internet that gaslit me into thinking that game was good, in up to the point that I spent $50 on it because I thought it would be anything more than a children's game with mandatory rhythm games,
wait,
terrible boss design.
What year did that come out? And that was $50?
2004. 2004. That game sucks, bro.
Oh,
That game is not good. All right, it is nothing more than like a 5 or
I'm
like a
still
5
hung
or
up on
6 out of
Mariah Carey
10.
thawing out. Does this mean that she's an ice block and she's like melting? Like what?
Do you not know about like the?
yeah, you know about the meme? It's like a meme where it's like, like in November, like before or October, it's like she's thawing. They're getting ready to play the song over and over and over again in stores.
I mean,
and
when you said
radio
that
and
Mariah
stuff.
Carey was thawing, I thought you meant like she was like gonna get wet because like if something thaws and then it's wet.
Yeah,
You know, that's fair.
Her pussy pops are thawing. I don't know. I thought it would be funny to say.
Bro said some words in there.
Apparently
Honestly, it was. I will give you that. All we really want for Christmas is pussy pops, after all.
I speak for yourself, Cosmic.
Hey, if
I'm
anyone
just
wants to
letting
give me
people
some
know
pussy,
what's on
leave it
shelf.
down in the comments.
Yeah, like comment, subscribe.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's like a ring pop, but instead of a candy, it's a click pop. You know, it's like.
Dude, all right.
I think there was a thing too where you could have
I
like.
think I'm onto something, guys.
Wasn't there
Sure.
a thing where you could have like your partner's genitalia, like a cast of it made into chocolate or something?
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Too.
I thought I didn't know it was.
That's
I thought it was just the
metal as
butt.
fuck.
I thought you could do it with just the butt. I didn't know. Like, I
No, you can do it
I
with.
guess.
I can see it because chocolate Santas exist. Like y'all know about
Yeah.
chocolate Santas, right?
I mean, I know
what?
that the
I don't
small
know what
chocolate
that is.
Santas that are shaped like that exist.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're just shaped like Santa Claus or like
Yeah.
the Easter Bunny or whatever.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can shape chocolate into pretty much
Dude, you
whatever.
can make chocolate. Chocolate is like a building material now. Like people
Yeah.
have gotten so bored that they're like, let's just make shit out of chocolate, and I love it.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's
Chocolate
great.
butt plug. Make it happen.
Yeah,
It won't
Well,
stay in
I
there
don't
for
know if a
very
chocolate
long.
butt plug would be that
Just so
great.
you know.
It would
I was gonna
melt
say that's
eventually.
I don't know if I
that
would even
thing's just
trust
gonna
that.
That's because well, it's gonna melt and
my
then
gosh,
leak
dude,
out,
Nestani's
and then
face
it's
is
gonna
so
look
funny.
very different from what is intended. So
Yeah, that's not gonna.
Just
look
use
good,
white
man.
chocolate.
Yeah, like white chocolate. Or,
yeah, that's gonna look so much better, dude.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
you
so
use
much
that
better.
like cookies and
What the
cream
hell are
Hershey's
you
chocolate,
talking?
and you're good, dude.
Be the only time in anybody's
Honestly-
life where they're like, "Oh, I got brown stuff all over my dick," and it's not a terrible thing, I guess. But like, you know,
Yeah,
What a horrible night
That's-
to have a curse.
it's like a chocolate chili dog right there.
I have brown stuff all over my dick right now.
Cool.
that's facts. Yeah.
Wow. The more you know.
These guys really don't like whenever I make a joke about my race, by the way.
No, it's not.
Well, the thing is, it's just
It's not
like,
about your race. It's about your dick, bro.
well, I was gonna say, like, I just don't like. Yeah, you're black. Like, of course it is. Like, of course your dick is
Like,
brown.
water
Like,
is
what else
wet,
am I
you
gonna
know? It's
say?
like-
Yeah.
It's just funny to just watch the room go silent and they're all like, what? Do you say something?
I-
Do you say something? Which one person needs to speak up this time?
Yeah, I think somebody's knocking at my door.
Hey guys, I have to
I think I need to go and grab my bear real quick.
I gotta go, guys. I gotta go. I gotta get out of here.
Good grief.
I'm getting hit with the racism frame trap. It's bad.
Yeah. That thing is like a 10-0 matchup for some people.
Yeah, for some people it's pretty bad.
Yeah. Mhm.
For me, it's pretty bad sometimes.
Oh, that's
Well, I thought
right.
it's a
Giving and
matchup in
receiving.
I thought it's like a
Yeah.
50-50 in your favor. Because it's like, you like racism, but
Well,
Well, that's why he said,
you know, it's in my favor
Callbacks,
in the fact that I can
you
make
know.
a joke about racism, but it's against me in the fact that I can get kneeled on by a police officer for like 8 minutes and then die. So
That's
you know,
an
it's
interesting way of
kind of
phrasing it,
a
for
it's
sure.
kind of a give and a take, you know.
mm-hmm. Fuck
So,
12 indeed.
How's the weather, guys? It's nice.
I get it now. I'm in the know, chat. I'm in the know.
Good grief, man.
I'm one of those who know. I am no longer unaware.
Guys, I just want to say that right now it is November 12th, and I just want to point out something that I found
It's
out
pretty warm
right before
out.
the podcast. Well, that it's still hot. Yep, global warming, really cool. But well, I guess it's really warm, not really cool. But what was I saying? Oh, right, it's November 12th, which means that it's 12 days into Cenat's Mafiathon 2. And previously, the Twitch sub record was held by Iron Mouse. And this nigga broke the sub record in 11 days.
That's actually crazy.
He has 19 more to go. Like, he might hit a million.
That's wild.
Like, it's kind of
Jesus.
fucked up.
What is he even doing on his stream that like
literally everything? You can't even describe a Cenat stream because he is like so far beyond what a normal streamer does. It's just kind of insane. Like, you could probably click through his VOD and he's doing something completely different with a completely different setup and scene and everything and different people
In person.
like it's like a whole like
He had like freaking Uzi. Like little Uzi Vert on it.
he has Uzi Vert on his stream.
He had Kevin Hart on another stream, and I'm like,
that's how you know you've made it, is if you have Lil Uzi Vert on your stream and that's only a portion of like one stream.
Yeah, it's just like another Tuesday for him. You know what I mean?
It's another
That's the
Tuesday,
crazy
yeah.
thing.
Even Tyler Blevins Ninja. I don't know why I called him like I know him personally.
My good
I don't
buddy,
know.
Tyler Ninja
Yeah.
Blevins.
My
Hey,
good buddy
Tyler.
Tyler Blevins. Tyler, if you're listening to this, you're still not as cool as a Muppet. But anyway,
Tyler, if you're
so-
listening to this,
Damn.
wire me $1 million, please, and thank you.
True, that too. Yeah, you can be as cool as a Muppet if you wire all of us $1 million, no
Well,
less.
he insulted you, so do $2 million for me and then $1 million for the other two.
yeah.
Well, I was going to say
Jax doesn't need me.
750,000.
$2 million for me, $2 million for Cole. How about that? Final
Yeah,
offer.
I guess I don't get money.
I was just going to say $1 million across. Okay, so
Meanwhile,
a
I'm the
mil-
unemployed one in the.
$1 million across the board. It's fine. None of us make enough. Okay, but $1 million will be fine.
Shit, I'll take
So-
$1,000.
I'm
Bro,
going
you
for-
are terrible at fucking negotiating.
I was gonna
this
say,
shit.
you thought I was
shit.
terrible at bargaining for the sponsor segments.
I'll take
All
30
we're
cents.
asking this dude, we're asking this dude to buy just 5 less Red Bull coolers a year. Like that's it, you know. But
I don't
so
think
anyway,
that equals $1 million.
you haven't seen how big the Red Bull coolers are. So Tyler Blevins, my good buddy, my good friend, who is not as cool as a Muppet,
We're cool with that, I can call him.
had like Drake and Travis Scott on his stream, you know, when he was
400,000 average.
Yeah.
Was the
and
stream.
that was like, yeah, that was a lot. That was like a huge deal. Like that was the stream, that was the draw. But Kai is so big that having Little Uzi Vert on is just
Another day in
that's
the week.
like that's it. Yeah, like that's not even like I didn't even know that he had Lil Uzi Vert on until I just heard about it. And like stuff like that usually kind of makes the rounds on social media of any sort, and it's just like nope, that's just what he's up to.
Like the
damn,
thing
dude.
to describe Kai is that he does so much that you don't hear about any of it because he's doing so much. Like you just can't like unless you are there in the stream, you have no clue what's going on, which is like kind of a big reason why he's like so massive, is because like every aspect is an event. Like I tuned in like a day or two ago and he had like some sort of like slapping competition where like the dudes just like literally slap each other. It's like an actual like sport or something.
Yeah, it's a sport. Yeah,
It's
I was like
so
slap boxing or
random. Yeah, but they were like, and they were just doing it. Just randomly on the stream. He was just running this whole tournament and he was just reacting to it right in front of him. Like, I was just like he wasn't participating. He was like watching a live event and like it's just in front of him.
So here's my thing is like, dude, like I feel like I have this question about like a lot of streamers and content creators. Do they ever take breaks? Because it's like I feel like at some point, like I couldn't imagine just like going and going and going.
Well,
and doing,
part of the
doing,
thing is that they
doing.
don't, and that's why they're successful. Is that they just
That's true,
keep going.
yeah.
The name of the game of streaming is the more you're live, the more you make money. when you're not live, you're not making money. That's just kind of how it is, right? Which is
This
why you
is
see a
also
lot of them expedite like shorts and YouTube and all that shit. Like, because it takes all this stuff to be a streamer, but like once you get to the top, then you can just like kill all that, and you can actually be a streamer because you don't have to waste all your time like editing videos and whatever. Yeah. So then you can just pull out like 10-hour days because you're literally not doing anything else but waking up and streaming, and you just have a team doing everything else for you.
Yeah, that does everything. Yep.
Right.
Do you sometimes think that like people get so popular to the point that it's like, I don't know what other way to phrase this other than like they're like an industry plant, or like they were just kind of manufactured to succeed or anything like that?
I can give you one right now. That? Sabrina Carpenter.
True.
Yeah.
I don't know if I
that bitch is a
hate that, or I'm just like,
she's a fucking tree. She ain't a plant. She a tree. She got her roots in the ground. It's crazy.
She's an industry tree.
She's an industry tree, dude.
That's crazy.
Guys, I just want to point out, for those that don't, like, you all know Sabrina Carpenter, but you like, Sabrina's been around for like a very long time. Like, I remember listening to Evolution, which was her 2016 album, and I remember listening to that. I was like, oh yeah, that's fine. Like, she makes fine music. And then randomly in like 2022, she just like fucking erupts into the biggest thing ever, and I'm like, what happened? What changed?
She's like one of those like Disney child actors. Right?
She is, they all are. Her, Olivia Rodrigo, like,
because like
they're all either Disney Channel. They like know someone that knows someone that knows one of their parents or someone. Yeah. Like Gracie Abrams, also a plant. Her parents.
Do you think that's like a good like a not inherently good thing, but do you really think that's like a bad thing, or it's just like well, that's the business, or like, I mean, should that even be a rewarded thing?
I mean, that's kind of how I feel. I don't really care because I like Olivia Rodrigo and I like Gracie Abrams is actually literally a plant, by the way. Like her parent, I think her dad does like something in Hollywood, or did, and was super well connected, and she's literally actually a plant. But I love her music, so like, yeah. So I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. I mean,
you can say anyone's a plant because in some ways the music industry kind of controls who it allows to succeed.
Sometimes
it depends.
They do kind of choose, like they can choose like how far you go, but like it really just varies on artist to artist, because you have some people that like just go like randomly nuclear. Like Jacob Collier is getting like bigger and bigger and bigger, but also part of the reason that Jacob Collier is getting bigger is because the industry is sucking off everything that guy does when he hasn't made a good album since the Jesse Volume 2. And 3 and 4 suck, and no one wants to admit it. But he's still getting all these Grammy nominations because they don't understand how the fuck Pro Tools works. And it's just like, yeah, you can layer sounds on top of each other, and it makes it big. Now, he's one of my favorite producers. I really like how he does his workflow. But it's just because he's managed to market himself in a way that people see it, and then they like build him up, right? But like his music isn't that good. Hate to break it to people.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes people are really just lucky, and you sort of have to accept that. It's either a matter of luck by way of their own doings, or luck by way of their circumstances. Sometimes what you have to accept too is that, the greatest opportunities are usually afforded to those that kind of stumble into these things. There is not, I think, inherently anything more extraordinary about people that, like, some people that are famous, because history is just us. History is just people. And I think that there's a quote that's like, I am less concerned with the intricacies of Einstein's mind than with the question of whether or not people as smart as or smarter than Einstein have died in factories or cotton fields. Because it is a question entirely of opportunity. So is it inherently bad? I think that assigns a little bit too much maliciousness to the idea of fame or the idea of being seen. But I think that it's not inherently a good thing either. I think that's just sort of the world that we've built. And that is kind of how things will continue for, like, in perpetuity, essentially. Because I think the thing, too, is, like, if somebody is just given those opportunities, then again, there's not anything inherently compelling or extraordinary about them.
And I think it's
and then
also
they pass that on to more people that are just not the same way. I mean, it's like you look at somebody like Bill Gates, right, or Steve Jobs, and Steve is definitely eccentric, right? But Bill Gates is a rich kid that was born into tons of riches, that was able to have access to a computer early enough and get hands-on time with that computer when the computer was in its infancy, like way before pretty much anybody had a computer. And he got enough hands-on time that he learned at a young age, like, and was able to just get his foot in the door when the industry was building. And that was why he got the opportunities that he had, because the opportunities that he was, the opportunities that he was given. So, like, you look around at, like, some of the stuff that people do that's, you know, like the industry plant stuff or whatever, and it's like, well, that's just kind of how things have always been. It's like, talent to some degree does determine these things, but at the end of the day, like, it can just be as easy as that, and then something happens and boom. I mean, the entire concept of being viral is sort of built around luck.
Yeah, I mean,
you know?
it all is like, and the thing about industry plants that I was going to say is that, like, it's only a bad thing if they don't do anything with it, right?
Yeah.
If they're given this opportunity and they, like, don't do it, or they, like, just do it in the worst way possible, which, like, a lot of these people don't. They're given the opportunity and they actually enjoy what they do, and they, like, do something with it, and they make something. Like, Bill Gates did that shit.
He did something with it, yeah.
He did that shit. Even fucking Steve shitty ass Jobs did something with that shit, right?
Yeah.
Gracie Abrams is doing something with that. You know, she's making music that is good to some people. A lot of people don't like her. Like, you know what I mean? And so, like, I don't know. I think it, like Nickelback didn't make good music. Like, they're the closest thing to me, but, like, it's just like
Nickelback is like
made music that people liked, and they went on tour. They didn't half-ass it. They went on tour, and they like did it consistently. And I think they're still touring. Like, you know what I mean?
Nickelback
like,
is basically like the musical equivalent of BLT. So, like,
not to be confused with BLJ.
Dude,
guys, do you think Super Mario 64 is an industry plant in the speedrunning scene?
It is.
So honestly, the thing is that you can actually make the argument that certain games have been planted for success. Like, the roots for those games to be successful have been planted from the beginning, because of, like, I'm sure that there's a timeline where, like, charity marathons at the very start, like, propped up mostly Sonic, and instead of having Super Metroid every other GDQ, we have Sonic and the Black Knight or whatever, you know.
The game speedrun is not that good, but that game is really good. It's a great fucking game.
Or we could have, like, you know, Sonic Adventure 1 every other GDQ, or Sonic 2 every other GDQ, or whatever, you know. But you can make the argument that, like, certain games are set up for success, yes, and have been since the beginning.
I mean, it's really just popular games. The more popular the game, the better. It's pretty linear.
It does go down to perception, though, from, like, the outside. Like, if you, for example, let's talk about, like, the stuff that's played on the radio a lot, especially, like, when I was growing up, a lot of it was
Carpenter.
like pop stuff. Yeah. So a lot of stuff gets played on the radio, and then people go, oh, this must be what people consider good right now.
We should put Sabrina Carpenter in the thumbnail. We're getting so many views for no reason.
I'm down. So then, you know, people go and listen to that music. True.
We got it. We already got it.
There we go. All right. Anyway.
Come on, man. It's too easy.
It's too easy. But it's like, it's just a feedback loop, right? Where, like, somebody's shoved in your face constantly, and then you go, oh, well, this must be what's good. Oh, let me see what other stuff like this is good.
Sabrina does shove it in your face.
That's just the feedback loop. Okay, actually, I'm gonna go and look her up on YouTube right now. So, what's a good song?
I don't know, but she does a song where she's like, "Have you tried this one?" And then she, like, does a sex position on stage. That's, like, her whole, like, bit.
You
she
need to
is
tell
like
me.
the most horny person I've ever seen in my entire life.
Well,
I need to know every single one of her music
personality.
videos so I can know which ones to avoid.
Dude, I mean, I don't know anything about her because I don't like her, and she
That's
gives
fair.
me an uncanny valley whenever I look at her. I like she's weird. I don't like.
There
like,
are some people that are sort of uncanny valley in that manner.
like
yeah.
she like looks too perfect, and I don't like it, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
She gives me the ick. I'll say it. I'm gonna get crucified at the
She was
cross.
manufactured like
That's fair.
Dude,
literally.
she literally looks like a fucking Barbie doll. It isn't like I'm like, dude, are you
That
real?
is kind
Like,
of crazy.
and then it's crazy to me because everyone's like, oh my
Yeah.
god, Sabrina Carpenter's so pretty, and I'm like, dude, I feel like this is a little damaging to these people because like they think she's so pretty and they want to look like her and be like her, and I'm like, nigga, you ain't gonna do that. But they don't want to admit that. They don't want to say that because, you know, Sabrina Carpenter's a boss woman and she does her own thing. But I'm just saying that it's kind of similar to, like, you know, how they push models forward. And I'm just saying that the people that are pushing Sabrina forward are probably men. And so, but that's my hot take for the day. Don't
Yeah.
cancel me on
I
Twitter.
don't know.
Actually, you can cancel me on Twitter. I ain't on that shit. Go ahead.
Yeah.
There you go.
God, I am so glad I'm not on Twitter anymore. We talked about this the other day. But
Yo,
wait,
Cosmic's
fuck.
like actually not on Twitter, which is crazy. I saw that you privated your account.
Yeah, I
I'm
said I was
probably even
gonna.
gonna do that.
I said
That's
I was
crazy.
gonna stop posting, and then I privated my account, and I was
that's
like,
crazy.
"See you later."
Guys, I'm still posting on Twitter, so you can follow me. By the way, guys, I
Yeah.
don't post on social media, but you can follow me.
You can follow me. You can look forward to any updates that might happen. Yeah, they won't be there, but
I still think
they
it's
could
valuable to
have.
use both. I don't think it's a
I will
true
say
jump ship
that-
moment yet. That's why I was surprised. I was just like,
Yeah.
There has been
like
there has been kind of like a jump shipping like awakening for me where I thought that a lot of like traffic that I would get in streams was from like posting links to social media, right? But the last few streams that I've done, there's been no drop off in terms of like people actually showing up, even though I'm just not bothering to post
Yeah.
on Twitter, and I'm not bothering to post on Blue Sky even anymore either. And I'm just posting in my Discord. What?
Nice Nestani got like a big grin on his face.
I'm just saying, I haven't tweeted about my stream since 21 or 2020.
Yeah,
like
there you go.
I never tweet out when I'm live, and people, yeah, well, the 3 people that watch me show up. All right, but they
Yeah.
do show up. Because
Well, that's my-
so
That's
like
me!
I don't think going live tweets like do anything unless you actually have a
Yeah.
following, and really
Probably,
they
yeah.
only do something if you're doing an event. I think if you're just like tweeting out your stream regularly, everyone is fucking ignoring it. Like even if you look at like mid-tier streamers or big streamers, like you look at their go live tweets, the few that do them, because most of them don't because they understand that it doesn't really convert. It's just like,
Yeah.
you know,
I think it's better in, like you said, in the instances where you're actually doing something unique for that stream,
yeah.
then it works. But if it's just another day at the office, right? Like, even if you were somebody that was like, you know, like regular retail workers or regular business people don't go like, yep, heading to the office, selfie time, you know, or whatever.
Right.
It's the people that are doing crazy shit, you know, like, all right, well, I'm flying to,
Time to jump off this building. Yeah.
yeah, I'm flying to wherever.
I'm flying to
fucking
this
do
for
it.
like a business proposal, Q&A on the plane.
Yeah, exactly. It's the crazy event stuff that people are posting their selfies about when they post about work. And it's sort of like the same way now, I think, because with streaming, we're kind of catching up to that self-employed sort
Right.
of space too, which took long enough, I guess. You know, I remember I had to actually have a conversation with my boss recently about like streaming and everything because
Why?
his kids want, and I've known my boss at my current job actually for like 10 years or more, actually 16 years at this point,
Damn.
because he was actually, so
16
funny
years ago,
story.
I was 9 years old.
So funny story. I had I'm gonna ignore that. I aged like 10 years just now, but I'm gonna ignore it. So this guy, I worked with him starting in 2008 at Walgreens.
Damn.
And I worked under him as well because he was a manager there.
I was in like
I
middle school
worked
or
under him for a
intermediate
few
school
years.
in 2008.
And then when I got like the orientation email, for my new job, I saw his name on there and I went, well, this is kind of a common name, but maybe it's him, you know? So I went to the office or whatever and looked in and I'm like, nope, that's him. And then I walked on in and I was like, hey man, how's it going? I guess I'm going to be working for you again. He was like, sounds like a plan, you know? And we caught up a little bit, but his kids, or his sons specifically, I guess now the whole thing with like kids in like the early, like in their early years, like the thing with boys now, I guess in their very early years, just all want to be content creators now, or they want to be streamers. Or
that's been a thing. That's been a
people
thing
that play video games for a living. It's been a thing for like a long time, but now it's less of a pipe dream than it was like before. Because like when I was growing up,
it's a pipe dream still. It's just. It's more of a pipe dream now than it was.
That's fair, actually, because now the market's so evolved. Yeah, but because I remember like when I was growing up, that really wasn't even a thing, right? Like. I'm comparing it to when I grew up. Like the idea of playing video games on the internet for other people or playing video games for a living was just not a thing like outside of Korea. But I had to tell him like, I don't think like people don't realize, you know, how much actually goes into this. And I told him like everything that I had worked on for like 3 years, you know, or whatever. And all the stuff that I had to do.
By the way, this guy like didn't miss a day of streaming for 3 years straight. I just found that out. I was looking at his Twitch tracker. It's kind of fucking crazy.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Wow. I didn't know
like
that.
2019 through 2021, he did not miss a fucking day. I was like, God damn.
It was like 5 days a week at least, yeah. So wow. I was getting on. I would come home from work and just have nothing to do, so I would just stream, just do speed runs and stuff.
Crazy.
So I had to tell him like, you know, because his boys were asking him about it, and he was just like, I don't really know, man. Like, I don't know anything about this. So he was actually asking me a bunch of questions about like, you know, what kind of is the return on this sort of stuff. And I actually had to explain to him like, you know, I actually had to show him a revenue of a video that got 90% of its views before I was ever partnered on YouTube. So any potential revenue from that point of like the 30K views or whatever that it got, not there, you know. It just doesn't happen. So you have to have something to hit hard in order to even get the chance at making money on stuff, you know? And that is the big thing, is that I told him like, you know, for the first year and some change that I was doing this, I wasn't making anything, you know? And that was such it definitely like, I think it was probably a little like validating for him to hear, because, you know, nobody really wants to tell their kid like, look, dude, this is not realistic unless it's not actually that realistic, right? Unless you have something actually to back that sort of up with, right? I mean,
the thing is, it is, I always say it's fine as long as you are doing it alongside of something else, right?
That's true.
If you're doing it alongside of school and you're doing well in school and you're progressing in school, but you're also streaming on the side, that's fine. Now, if you're like, I'm going to drop out of school and stream, you're fucking dumb as bricks. Shut the fuck up and get back to school. Unless
you're like Kai Cenat already, but it's like,
or Finster.
If you're
but even
if you actually have numbers, sure. But like if you're like, I'm at like fucking 100 viewers and I'm going to drop out of school, shut up. You make no money. Like I hate to break it to you. You're not made it. Like you can only like drop out if like specifically on Twitch if you're like a 1K up Andy. You know what I mean? Like like otherwise
it's like it's a little crazy, right? Because I mean, I think that Finster is actually taking a break recently. Like I think that she or he I don't know who that because they're gender fluid. Well, you don't know who Finster is? Finster. Oh
wait, Finister? Like the
femboy.
Yeah, the femboy? Yeah.
Yeah. So
I know Finster. I thought it was
so
Finister.
He like
it is just Finster. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's Finster, yeah. So he's taking a break for like a month because she dropped out of school and like just streamed and then actually got stuff going, but hasn't taken a day off or like any sort of time off in like 3 to 5 years or however freaking long it's been, you know, since he got famous. So it's like, but that was like a huge risk if she had dropped out of school and not been successful you know, who knows where he would be. Right?
Yeah. But it's really just a thing where it's just like, I mean, for that person's kids, it's like they can do it for fun and for the love of the game if they want to, right? But it's just like, you have to have a job or, you know, do it on top of it, which like is counterintuitive because you hear all the YouTubers at the top and all the Twitch streamers at the top being like, yeah, if you want this, you have to be sick in the head with it and you have to think about it all the time and you have to want it so bad and you have to put all your time into it. And people hear that and they're like, well, I'm getting fucking 40 hours a week. Like killed. Like I can't put this much time into it, right? And they don't understand that like the concept of that is like you're not actually doing shit that whole time. You're just like improving and getting better with the time that you have.
You're just locked in.
Yeah, because you can use that time very well if you choose to, right?
Indeed.
But it is a slippery slope because like all the kids do want to do it, like because even literally 10 years ago, it was 2014. Like this is like a year after I got in the Smite. I wanted to become a streamer. That was like the thing I wanted to do 10 years ago. Because I've been on Twitch for fucking ages. And so I remember watching like the top Smite streamers at the time, and they were just like playing games with their buddies and they were like making a living off it. I was like, dude, I want to fucking do that. That's fucking sick. And then I remember I saved up. I got my first job at the beginning of like 2017, which is like the year that I graduated. So like that whole thing, I saved up every single cent that I made from my job and my graduation money. Damn. And then I bought my first computer and then I started streaming. Right. And I just went. And you know, I've been in waves ever since because I found out from my Twitch tracker that I'm either on or I'm gone, bro.
Yeah, you're gone, dude. On or gone. The Nestani memoir.
Dude, I'm either 6 days a week or I'm not streaming. It's just
There was a while like recently where you were streaming like 7 days a week, and then you're just like, nope.
That was like basically all of 2023, and 2020. It was kind of all of 2022 and 2023. I was like kind of on it, but even then it was like
you were in
in the middle of 2022 I had to stop streaming because I was failing every single class, so I had to quit. Okay guys, do you want to know how sick in the head I am? I know me and Cosmic just had this conversation in DMs, but I just want to bring it back to 2022. So like Cole knows this, but I was going for record at the beginning of 2022 and end of like 2021. I was trying to get any percent record in Scoob. And so I was in my last semester of college in 2022. And at the beginning of the semester, I said to myself, I was like, cool. You know how they give you like the, not the rubric, like the curriculum or like the thing at the beginning that tells you everything, the syllabus. They give you the syllabus. And normally you just tear that shit up and throw it in the trash. But if you actually look at it, if you actually look at it and you actually read it, it actually gives you some really cool information. And the information that I got was that I could not do literally anything up to spring break, and then I would have to do everything. And if I did everything after spring break, I would pass. So what I did when I granted for record is I showed up to class and I came home and I played Scoob, and I did not do any assignments. I did not do any work. I had an F across the board at midterm.
Damn.
And then I passed all my classes with like B's and A's still, because I was like, oh, I can come back from this.
I can come back from this.
That's how sick of the head I was. And I didn't get record, by the way. I never got record. But
he really hit him with the we outscale them.
I really did. No, I got record in 2021, like before you found the skip. Yeah, that's when on my vengeful hatred tirade. But that's also like again in 2021 I stopped streaming for like 3 months because some people didn't like me and I didn't like them, and so I just didn't stream for a while, and I took a step away for a little bit. But then I came back in 2022. But then I stopped streaming because I had to pass college because I was in I'm not gonna fail my last semester of college. I'm not that dumb, Yeah. I'm dumb enough to get an F the whole semester.
I might be dumb, but I'm not stupid.
I might be dumb and I might hate school that much that I'm willing to just do nothing the first half of the semester to try to get record in a fucking video game that no one gives a fuck about. But and then I had to do my 12-hour internship, and then I made the Scooby Doc again because the Scooby Doc that I made was actually for school. Funnily enough, that was my capstone.
Yeah.
That's the backstory on that. And then from like the second half of 2022, really like from like August of 2022 to like August of 2023, I basically didn't miss a day. But
pretty sick.
That was kind of my grind. And then I haven't done anything since GDQ.
Yeah.
This year I haven't done anything.
Jaxler's like, yeah, relatable.
True.
I mean, because
honestly, I think me and Jax have streamed
roughly
roughly the same amount, except I'm streaming Smite too.
I've just been getting a lot more mileage out of just doing offline runs and playing. And it's just like, because it's like, you know, part of the
you're just
reason
in your own thing, yeah.
Yeah, because part of the reason I would stream is I thought it was like a cool way to share the process of the speedrunning thing with people, but people won't really care.
Hashtag trust the process.
Yeah, so it's like, well, part of it too is I feel like when I'm streaming it, like I just play worse because it's like I have to be a public person. I had to be some flavor of social, and despite what it may look like, I'm a very introverted human being.
Don't worry, it looks like you are.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Like for me personally, I just like playing games, and I mean, I go fast in them too. But
well,
I'm also
kind of
not
unfair because you are literally like the most expert level streamer out of all of us. Like you're better than all three of us combined at streaming. Like this guy doesn't shut the fuck up. I mean, audio listeners. I mean, everyone watching the podcast. You
that's
know.
true. Yeah, people.
Whenever
do
we have
that,
a downtime in an episode, we just unleash Cosmic and we say, "Cosmic, get us through this fucking episode. You got it." And he does. He does. Yeah. You can say a lot of things. He gets us through the episodes. You know, he'll talk about the flea markets for fucking 40 minutes, man.
True. What was it that I said to you the other day that I was just like, yeah, I didn't really think that I thought that you were exaggerating about like me being able to talk a lot, and then there was something else that like
you were talking about how you were
I forget
on, like,
what it was.
Someone's podcast or whatever, and they were like
oh
interviewing
yeah
you, and your interview went 30 minutes over their
next like longest episode, and then Nestani hits me back with like. So for context, audio listeners, the past weekend, there was a day where I streamed 10 hours. And Nestani says to me, dude, you were on hour fucking 9 still bullet mouthing. Like, and he goes, yeah, dude, you can yap. And I was like, I don't know, dude. I was just talking about the game. Like,
dude, this guy goes on. Dude, I can't do it, guys. I'm not built for that shit.
Yeah, I have like a draining battery every time I have conversations.
I do too, but also like when I like am actually talking about stuff, I feel like I end up just talking about depressing shit because it's just like I feel like when I stream, I am in a weird way in my least like hyperactive state. And so I feel like
that makes sense because you're like focusing on the thing in front of you.
Focusing on the thing, right?
Yeah.
But it's also, you know, at the same time, it also just like I feel like I'm more susceptible to be talking about like depressing shit because I'm in a lot more of a calm state.
Like, you're on sort of like the downswing mood wise.
On the downswing, yeah, right.
Yeah, I guess it's because you're probably closer to. You're trying to find a center, right, in order to focus.
Yeah.
But that your center is sort of like on the downswing there. So in sort of trying to like bring yourself down in a calm, you end up just probably going a little bit over the hump. Right? Yeah.
I think it's also tough too because it's like the way my social anxiety is it just I always feel like I'm at like high energy because I can't shut that off. Right? Mm-hmm. And so it's like I can't like I don't know why streaming becomes the place where I like not necessarily trauma dump, but like, you know, just like where I like.
I mean, to be fair, it's your stream. Shit. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
It is my stream. I can do what I want, right?
Yeah,
but like, also, it's just like, you know, it's interesting. You know, it's like I can't talk to other people about my problems all that well, but when I'm like streaming it and I turn my webcam off, I'm like, good.
It's a like, captive audience thing, I think.
I don't even know if it's that. Like.
I said it's a captive audience type thing, really.
Well, you know when no one's
I just said to sound like I did.
Thing is I'm like this. You gotta remember, I used to like stream to nobody.
Yeah.
And like,
whoa, you got more views than me. What the fuck do I stream to? Fucking the graveyard?
I
Like, goddamn.
I mean, fuck, in like, fucking like 2016, like, yeah, I streamed to nobody. Nobody cared, you know? It was like, that's how it was. But I don't know. It's
Yeah.
It is.
Well,
it is.
also like
Go ahead.
personally, you know, I feel like I can get that way on stream too, but it's also like, you know, when I'm done to stream, I'm kind of just blabbermouthing whatever I'm thinking, and a lot of the times the things I'm thinking about are like real shit.
yeah,
Like,
that's the thing too.
real ass
is
problems,
like,
you know.
when you're
So,
just kind of like not always in that flow state, but like I would experience this a lot when I was swimming as well, because a lot of the time you're just in the water and you're just doing it, and so
Yeah.
you're just thinking the whole time, because how else are you gonna be sane, right? Like you can't just like dissociate for a full. Like I can't even dissociate for that long, right? But it's like so you end up thinking about. It's like a time to think, right? And so like when you're kind of in that zone, like Cosmic was talking about, you're just kind of like more like centered and more thinking about.
Yeah. It is, I think,
Like
one of
that.
those reasons too why like people have trouble sleeping without white noise on, right? Is because then your brain is like
would be
in
me.
overdrive, you know? I mean, technically speaking,
Yeah.
when you're streaming, you're just sitting there. Your mind might be a little engaged, or like your hands, you know,
Yeah.
for example. But I mean, this
It's
is
so
also
sick.
why when I did the like 5 hour straight, like the 5 hour run of Devil Kings, I was standing for the entire time.
That's insane.
Yeah, I stood
You
the
were
whole
standing.
run. Yeah, I stood for
was
5
there,
hours at
Pog.
my desk.
Destroy my knees, but fair enough.
That's fair.
I was
Yeah.
there, Pog.
He wasn't, in fact, there. Yeah. But it was one of those things where like I just had to approach it like I was going to work. You know, to me that was not like a time to, I guess, think really. It was just a time to do, which is probably why I don't have the problem of like just talking about whatever, because when I turn on stream, it's a time to do stuff, you know, and
That's true.
for better or for worse, you know, I think too, it was like a lot of people told me from jump, like it is not your chat's job to entertain themselves. So even if you just talk about whatever, then like eventually somebody's going to say something, you know, like I'll be talking about my laundry at some point. Like I'll fail like a fucking movement thing or whatever in some game and then be like, man, I could have just reset this run and just take my laundry out of the fucking dryer already. And then somebody will be like, how long has it been sitting in there? And then I'll just launch off of that.
This guy will launch off of anything, by the way, as you all know.
I will just launch off of anything. But I think it is one of those things where like, I think, Jax, that you are such a like talented runner that when you focus down, you know that you can pretty much achieve whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
But you know that finding that requires you to be in a certain mindset. You know,
I don't see myself as an entertainer. I see myself as like an athlete.
you are a speedrunner, yeah, or an athlete,
right.
yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah. And I think that too is like being a streamer is like being a speedrun streamer is different than just being a speedrunner.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not
Because
saying I'm necessarily bad at it. It's just like
yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say you're bad at it because I wouldn't
there's
have watched
friction
you.
between being the speedrun streamer and being the high level speedrunner.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
lot
and I
of
mean,
it just-
I straight up wouldn't watch you at all if I didn't think you were good at streaming, and like I legitimately find your streams pretty entertaining, and I think that the sort of like low key, sort of lo-fi vibe that you have going on is pretty good too.
Yeah, because I always used to get confused because people would tell me I have like a really cozy vibe stream, and I'm like,
Yeah,
but I'm like the most annoying, hyperactive person on planet
Well,
Earth, and
I
I
think
will
it-
just explode in noise sometimes. But like,
it depends, right? Because I think that you have to have those down periods to define the up, right? Because
sure,
people will say like, oh, I saw this couple on the train that was just looking at their phones and not talking to each other. And it's like, well, if you're talking to each other all fucking day, like there's
Nothing to
Yeah,
talk
no.
about.
nothing. Yeah, there's nothing to talk about. You have to have downtime to define the uptime.
You gotta have Megatron.
You gotta have Megatron to define Optimus
God
Prime.
damn it! No!
That's a callback to the
So
beginning.
who is your Megatron, really? But I mean, the thing is too, right? Is that like
probably?
It's fair, yeah. I mean, the thing is, right? Like that when I watch you, right? You're kind of you're like in your state, you're doing your thing, talking depressed, and then you hit a PB, and it's like boom, the payoff is there.
Yeah.
So I think that like me as a viewer, that's something that I value. For a lot of other people, I think for a lot of different viewers, it obviously differs because I think Nestani and Nestani and I were talking about this where like the big way that you be a streamer now is to just be loud and shit all the time. Yeah, you swallow the fucking mic. Like
wow.
And it's funny.
Man, I didn't know I was in the call with a real streamer.
That hurt. The real streamers.
Real streamer. Yeah, right. Wow. Exactly. Yeah, that was a lot.
I mean, that was emotionally painful.
But like every like speedrun streamer,
console crashing.
Every speedrun streamer that I have tuned into since I started tuning into speedrun streams has been that flavor of just like I'm just chilling out, doing my thing,
Which is why they don't grow.
That's fair. I mean, there are some that have grown because they're just there since the beginning. Like Maxi Lives, I think, is pretty chill, but it
depends on the top tier you're playing too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
pick a top tier. People have been saying this.
I mean,
true.
Fucking what's this? So the Distortion, like he plays like fucking Dark Souls games.
Dark Souls, yeah. And he didn't. That guy streamed nothing but Souls games for fucking years, and then he could finally branch out once he had the following from that shit. So there is that too. And he didn't even use a webcam for the longest time. He just, and I think he barely talked too. I think the first time I tuned into a disc stream, he was just barely talking. And that was like when he was running Shadow of the Colossus for a while.
I realize he ran.
He ran, I think, the 2018 version. And I had not heard of Distortion 2 prior to this. And I was like, who's this guy that's running Shadow of the Colossus that has hundreds of viewers? Like, and I was like, do people watch this game like that? And then I go to his speedrun profile and I went, oh, okay.
No,
this explains it. Yeah. I'm like, oh, they watch Souls games this much.
I did want to say something though, in terms of whenever Cosmic brought up that like he treats streaming like a job. And I think like that kind of aligns a lot more with how I treat streaming too, because I'm kind of the opposite in Jackson in the way that like in strictly of like how we run, he feels he runs better offline. I am fucking dog shit offline. I have to stream. If I'm not streaming, I can't play because I won't focus on the game. I'll like start a run, I'll reset, and then I'll just like watch YouTube for like 5 minutes. But like if you're
I've definitely been guilty of that a couple of times. Yeah.
But like if you're streaming, people are looking at you, and even if no one's there, someone could be there and they could be looking at you. So then you just like focus up on the game, and I just find it. I think like why you would do that more is because you don't approach streaming as a job. You approach it as something that you just like to do, right? It's just a hobby. It's something you like to do. And like, even though I'm not necessarily trying to grow as a streamer, I come into it with like kind of a job mindset of like, hey, don't make every joke that pops into your head. It's not good. Sometimes you don't want to say those things publicly. Offline, I will be slinging it though.
Slinging it. Listeners, he is slinging his dick out. Holy
he fucking that shit up.
Everyone knows that my brain works in the
mysterious
wrong way.
Ways.
The wrong way, I would argue. But I just find it fascinating because I think that's a reason why like you or Cole could like go down that path more often like than we do, because I've done it before for sure. But like most of the time when I'm streaming, I'm like I'm either A, on and I'm like on, or I'm B, off and I'm just playing the game.
Off, you're just gone.
There's no in between. And so it's kind of rare that I'm in this weird in between where like I'll actually chill and talk. I normally don't do that.
I just feel like when I'm streaming, I'm compromising the way that I play in order to facilitate the stream happening. And I don't know if it's just a skill, like a skill issue. It's just like
a skill issue.
Like, what do you mean you facilitate your play to the stream? What does that mean?
In that, like, I'm not engaged with the run in the same way, if that makes sense.
It doesn't. Explain.
I think basically what he's trying to say is that the minutia of every little thing that he's doing, he's not as tuned into because he's trying to split his attention.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because I'm also trying to like.
Yeah.
I think there's also just the element of I am a public person in this moment who is being observed.
Yeah.
And that's exactly right. And it's someone who has social anxiety. It's tough because I am consistently. I'm not gonna entertain this joke. I'm consistently. I'm consistently
observing you.
Yeah, I'm aware. I am never alone. But it's
That's
like,
the worst thing
I
you've
am
ever
never
said to
alone.
somebody.
Yeah.
but it's just like
Consistently observing.
it's just the way that my brain works is it's constantly taking in data about the people around me, like, and that's probably I care too much about what other people think. It's and not even
That's fair.
probably
Everyone
Because
does.
everyone does, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird, and that's why I say I don't know if it's a skill issue or not, because I'm not necessarily trying to say this is necessarily something that's like, oh, this is the way things are, and it's always going to be this way, because that's not the case. And
You're just saying that that's how it is right now, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's like I guess I don't have a good in between, because it's like I'm either really good at like doing a run and then explaining it, or just shutting the fuck up and locking it.
I think it's also a little different for you because you run a lot of games, right? Because I remember like whenever I was first running Puppies or first running Ludistus, I definitely did not talk as much. Like I definitely talked less because I had to focus more on the games that I'm running. But like at the end of 2022, when I've been doing the gauntlet of every scoop fucking category, I was a fucking yapper. I could just talk about it. I could literally just like watch the chat and barely look at the screen because I just know Scooby like just straight up and down, right?
Yeah,
and so I think that's part of the reason that like I think at times also, because you just swap so many games, so it's hard to kind of build that
and that's
like
the problem, right?
crazy memory to be able to split like that, right?
I feel like I've been burning through my speed games a little bit quickly too.
You get accepted into everything.
Well, not only that, but like as I speedrun more, I get better at the learning process, and I get better at getting better at games quicker.
Mm-hmm.
And so like it's becoming a thing where I'm just cycling through games a lot faster, and as a result of that, I'm not sticking with games as much. And that's one of the hard things about streaming speedrunning is a lot of times it's about the game you're speedrunning rather than the fact that you are speedrunning. Period.
Yeah, that's fair.
Hashtag top tier.
Exactly, right? But it's like if I'm a speedrunner and I get to a point where I'm satisfied or I've met my goals, I'm not going to continue pushing it because I'm going to burn out if I do that. But there's friction between that and being a streamer and trying to get people to show up, and it's like
it also kind of depends on your goals because you kind of set like that's kind of rude. I don't know how else to say it. You kind of set a kind of low bar. I don't know how to say it. I swear I'm not trying to be rude, but
you sell yourself short, basically.
I don't even think it's that. I think it's just that he has a goal, but then like he doesn't like keep going. Like you're not much of an optimizer. Like whenever I like run a game, I'm like I want to completely master every single aspect of this and get. I'm a sicko, right?
Yeah,
and I don't think you're much of a sicko. I think you're a sicko sometimes. Like I think
really
in Frights any % you were a sicko, but I think that was the last time you were a sicko. Besides maybe for Spidey. Spidey, you kind of went sicko for a little bit.
Yeah,
but I think for
probably
Spidey
still
was pretty
would be.
sicko.
Yeah, but like I think for most things you kind of like get record and you're like cool on to the next thing, right? Whereas like someone like me, I'm like I get record, I'm like cool, I'm gonna keep going.
I will.
Just like, okay, man.
Will say in recent times it's a bit different. Like Frog Monster, for example, when I got the high 35, I am just not fucking beating that. That run was like almost perfect.
Yeah,
I'm just not because like it's at a point where I don't care necessarily always about like if I can get the time lower. It's like did I execute to the best of my ability?
Mm-hmm.
And did I play really well? And did I do something that I'm proud of? And that doesn't always necessarily translate into like the crazy hyper optimized time because sometimes that time isn't necessarily of your control. And I've tried to pull myself away from obsessing over things that aren't under my control.
Yeah,
completely.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right.
And I would say I have like roughly the same mindset with that because like I don't really care about the time. I just see more time save and like everything that I do ever. And I'm like, oh, I can get more time here and here and here and here. And then I just like, and then I keep going until I'm like, all right, I'm somewhat satisfied. But like, even then, like, and sometimes I intentionally stop. Like Lunistis, I intentionally stopped all 3 categories. I just didn't keep going. Because I thought a patch was coming, and now it's been a year and a half.
Yeah.
Yippee!
I think part of it too is me evaluating whether I'm ready to take that next step yet. If that makes sense. Because the difference between like 1 PB and like the next 30, like even it can even be like a smaller time save. The difference between that can be a lot emotionally and physically.
It's a lot big of a time sink the longer it goes up, right? And you're like,
diminishing.
I could use all this time to just learn a new game because you want to learn, because like you're one of the people that just want to learn like as many fucking games as possible, right?
Not only that, but also I just don't know if I'm emotionally ready for that yet. Like I'm at a point now where I think I'm emotionally ready to go back and try to get the Rabbits Go Home record back. I was not in that headspace for a couple of years. Like I would still play the game every now and then just because I have fun running through it, but I wasn't really emotionally ready to commit back to it again.
Yeah.
And you know, obviously being in GDQ is a big motivator to why, but also it's like, you know, in this, you know, that's part of the reason I submit to so many events is it helps me keep my motivation, give me something to work towards, and like suss out, am I ready to come back to this yet, or am I still a little burned out? Because I mean, you saw what happened with Frog Monsters. I played the fuck out of that game. Like, it was not healthy. It wasn't. It was just not healthy. It was bad.
Chat. He was streaming when I went to bed, and he was streaming when I woke up for work in the morning.
Yeah.
And that was kind of due to other reasons, but also part of it was he was just addicted to the grind, right?
Yeah. And
he was hell on the grind.
Like, I think I'd have to check Steam, but I think I might actually have more hours in Frog Monster than, like, Pseudo Regalia now, which is crazy. I played the fucking...
Honestly, you didn't play Pseudo Regalia that long, to be honest, so I would believe that.
That's not true. I have 220 hours in Pseudo Regalia. So.
Yeah, but it didn't feel like it was that long, like, in terms of, like, a period of time. At least to me, it didn't feel that long. Like, it didn't feel like as long as, like, the Vex arc. That shit was... forever.
Yeah, well, Vex is also
that game's hard.
That game's fucking dog shit now.
I learned like half the game in a month and then I gave up. Like,
dude, I'm so mad too. This is like a totally random tangent, and then we can go back. Boy. But somebody in the Discord posted a thing where you can like do wall clips by like ledge grabbing a wall and just like siding to the left or right until you eventually just start rotating and then you can clip out.
Raffle?
And I was like, holy shit, finally, because I was trying to figure out a way to get to, it's in Neverglades. There's this heart that's like locked in this box and you have to like pick up 3 things and bring it over. And it's like one of the longest, most annoying things. And I was like, oh, well, if you're out of bounds under the map, then you can just rage jump up and into the heart. And I was able to do that, but the heart hitbox isn't loaded. So,
dude, you fucking owned.
I got fucking owned.
That
was really
unfortunate.
pissed. I was so mad.
Anyway, I think Cosmic wanted to say something like a billion times, and I kept cutting him off because he kept cutting me off earlier. So you know, we're just kind of doing it to each other this episode.
It's fine. We're just guillotining each other's sentences. The French would be very proud if our sentences were monarchs. So,
sure.
I was gonna say,
anyway, continue.
Honestly, like, I was actually gonna bring up Vex because I felt like Vex was one that, even though the grind for that was pretty long, I still saw plenty of potential for you to improve that time.
That's a forever game, though. You know.
Yeah, that is one of the forever games.
It's like a Mario 64. That shit can just keep going.
Yeah, and but I was excited to see you run that more, and then you were like, "All right, time for Pseudo Regalia," and I was like, "But I wanted to watch more Vex."
Yeah. And I'm just at a point in my life, like, I feel like school really beat it out of me, where it's just like, I can't do shit because other people want to see it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, which is totally fair.
To see it is what gets you.
I would say, okay, that...
You know, it's like...
Pumpkin Jaxler, oh my god.
I understand that, right? I understand that. I was hoping that you would have the fire in you still to keep grinding it out. Like, I don't want you to do something because I want to see it. I was hoping that you would want to keep doing it.
I want to see Pumpkin Jack. Bring it back, Pumpkin Jacks.
When's what's it? Kaya Dark Lineage. When is Kaya Dark Lineage?
I do want to learn that. I need to see if it's something that, like, as a run. Like, it doesn't seem like it has, like, a whole crazy lot. Like I said, not a long run, but it doesn't have, like, a crazy lot of interesting tech. I'd have to do more.
You hate to see it,
guys.
honestly.
I just want to say that I always say to Jax, I'm like, Jax, please play more Stuart Little, and he won't do it. So like that's how you know that he does not give a fuck about the viewer.
Okay, I was messing around with Stuart Little 3 a little bit.
Ooh, the racist game. I love that one.
The racist game, yeah.
Oh no.
So I have had a history with this game because it supposedly had PS2 iToy support, where it would let you put your face on NPCs in the game. And I was trying so hard to figure out how to get it to work. And I actually got the PS2 iToy to work on the USA version of the game.
Oh god.
But it only had like a PS2 iToy minigame where you just gotta like wave your hands around so that Stuart in his racism costume shoots at bubbles. And it doesn't even give you anything for doing it. It doesn't even give you anything for doing it. But now I have a suspicion that because the two things. One, it was made by British devs, and two, the iToy was way bigger in Europe.
Immediately racist.
Well, true, but also the iToy was way bigger in Europe than it was in the States, right?
Okay.
So I'm kind of in the spot, like, do I start investigating, like, the PAL version of
The
Stuart
PAL
Little 3?
Stuart Little 3 disc.
Just to see, because I'm
dude.
like, okay, it would be the funniest goddamn, like, marathon incentive ever to have a bid war of whose face to put in the game. Like, that's just comedy, and it would just print money. It just would print money. Yeah. Right?
Absolutely.
Like, so I'm overcommitted at this point, but
so are you running on the PAL version at all, or no?
No, I just have an NTSC copy.
Yeah, he would have to go get one. He would have to buy one. And in order to buy one, he would need money from this podcast, everyone. So please like and subscribe.
Please.
And we're going to call the episode here because we have been kind of going over. And so we're
been kind of going into it, yeah.
We went over big time.
We went kind of over, yeah. So enjoy our longest episode yet.
I think it is our longest episode yet. Yeah,
it absolutely is. Yeah,
for sure.
Because you let me launch a little bit too long, dude.
Well, the thing is that we were having a good conversation, and I did not feel like stopping it until it kind of like petered off a little bit, you know.
Trauma dumping, woohoo!
You can always count on a therapy session to make things run long.
Yeah, not confused with Octopussy from a couple episodes ago.
Yeah, we really cover all bases with this podcast.
Shout outs to my goat, Octopussy, honestly.
True. Does anyone have anything going on before we let the audio listeners and the watchers like go back to their real lives because they just realized that they just wasted 2 hours of their life and they're like, guys, we need to get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here, bro.
I do know when my GDQ run is now going to be, which is going to be at like 1:40 a.m. Eastern time on January 6th. So I'm looking forward to running on the
Capitol on January 6th.
Where was Van Helsing on January 6th? So
where was Rabbits Go Home on January 6th? Because that shit's at 1 p.m. When did the insurrection happen? What time was it? Was it 1 p.m.?
So I'm gonna be doing my run
like
the first night of the marathon. I'll be doing my run, and then I'm like sick. I get to chill the rest of the week. I should also have an episode.
Dude, I long for days like those.
I've been on Friday this will be
both weeks that I've been in GDQ.
This will be my second one that it's like the first day, dude, and I'm just like, hell yeah, you know.
They gave Rabbits Go Home a 1 p.m. time slot.
That's kind of dope,
That's
honestly.
Kind of gas. I don't understand.
That is pretty gas, yeah.
It is on a Monday, though, so.
Yeah.
It is.
I do have a shirt that I'm going to buy, probably anyway, for this run where it just says, "It's all your fault, Hugh Jackman." Apparently, this was a promotional shirt for The Greatest Showman Ever, or whatever it was, or The Greatest Showman, that play that he was a part of. So
incredible.
I think I should also be probably in a couple of weeks on a podcast that I was interviewed for called Speedrunners and Coffee, which is by Abby's Corner, or Abby Brander. She's a horror speedrunner.
I know
so.
Abby.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, she interviews a bunch of people.
RE4 run at Horrible Games when I hosted that one time for the one. I remember that.
Nice. But yeah, that was a thing where we talk about a lot of stuff, and she tries to get me to buy a brand of tea in Canada. at some point. So if you want to hear somebody pitch Canadian tea to me, among other things, then you can listen to that as well in a couple of weeks. And I think that's it for me. Yeah, honestly.
Still in my emotional sleep rut, so maybe I'll stream ?
I streamed 5 hours of Smite yesterday, everyone.
I'm sorry.
This week, dude, or this weekend, the 3-day weekend, I streamed like 20 hours or something like that.
This guy was a fucking animal, bro. He just kept going. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
I remember, like, God. You came in while I was like 4 hours deep in day 2, and you were like 10 hours into another like long ass stream. Like, what are you doing, dude? And I was just like, I just got energy, bro, and I'm just playing video games.
He does just have energy.
I'm just playing these Japanese only Mushu games where there's a guy that has 6 katanas and he holds one in between each knuckle, and it's great.
You know,
so
do you guys have 8 hours of free time upcoming? Because we could make this podcast 10 hours and try and beat that.
We could, honestly, except that I have to go to work in the morning.
Podcast
so
actually, I would need to. 6 more hours. Hold on, that brings me to 4 a.m. I'd only be able to sleep for like 2 hours, so I couldn't.
Yeah,
I'm
not doing that. My bedtime's in an hour. So
fair enough.
Week.
All right, y'all. Much love. See you later. Bye.
Get out of here.
Give us money.